And thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Lindsay Allen.
And I'm David Scott. Today, a grand jury indicted the suspected Kroger shooter on several serious charges.
WDRB's Hayden Rostevsky spoke with the armed man who came face to face with him on his way into the grocery store. Hayden.
Kroger shooting suspect Gregory Bush is locked up here behind me at Metro Corrections. A grand jury indicted him on several serious charges today. Bush is facing murder charges, attempted murder charge, and wanton endangerment charges, accused of killing Vicki Lee Jones and Maurice Stollard and firing his gun at and around others nearby. Dominic Rozier and his wife never thought they would be caught in the crossfire heading into their neighborhood grocery store to get supplies for their son's first birthday. But 1 week ago, they were. The two came face to face with Bush at the Jeffersontown store last Wednesday. The couple, who recently moved to Louisville from Michigan, say they heard the shots, then saw Bush coming toward them with his gun raised. Rozier says he did what he had to do to survive.
I protected me and my wife. At the end of the day, it messes with me just a little bit because it's like, oh wow, no, didn't think that could happen in the Southern hospitality where I was welcome to.
Rozier says he doesn't like being called a good Samaritan or a hero. He says he's someone who legally carries a weapon for protection and had to use it. He also apologized for any harm his bullets may have caused to other people or their property during the shooting. As for Bush, he will be formally arraigned on his state charges Friday morning. More charges are possible in the future, including federal hate crimes. Reporting downtown tonight, Hayden Rostevsky, WDRB News.
Hayden, thank you. No church is immune from violence. That's according to a church safety expert we talked to tonight.
Tonight, a week after police say a Jeffersontown church escaped an attack, that expert offered plenty of tips in an interview with WDRB's Chad Mills. Chad.
He told me churches should never stop thinking about safety and security. And the pastor of this church beside me, First Baptist Jeffersontown, definitely has security on his mind after what happened here just 1 week ago.
It would take a lot to stop worship at the First Baptist Church Jeffersontown. Years ago, the Ku Klux Klan burned it down, and the pastor believes it survived an attempted attack just a week ago when police say 51-year-old Gregory Bush unsuccessfully tried to get in before he drove away from the predominantly African-American church and killed 2 African-Americans at a nearby Kroger.
We have no intention of closing our doors. We have no intentions of being fearful.
But even as worship continues, Reverend Kevin Nelson admits what happened last week has made an impact.
But this has given us a new desire to step up our security.
Just a few miles away, Phil Noble, the safety and security director of Southeast Christian Church, feels the same way after the scary situation at First Baptist and the massacre at a synagogue in Pittsburgh.
We prepare every week, not just here recently, but since I've been here and when Ron was here before me, to make sure the church is safe as it can be.
Ron is Ron Igear, who's literally written a book on church safety.
I get calls from around the country when tragedy strikes in houses of worship.
So what do churches need to know? He says they need to make a plan immediately. Seek out ex-law enforcement or military in congregations, lock doors during worship services, and think about concealed carry with added training.
A church needs to seek help and training. They need to put a team together. They need to make sure that they have a team in place, that the leadership of the team is responsible for protecting the people of their church. They also need to have someone on their premises with a firearm. I really believe that. And I think the best place to start is with police officers.
Another tip he offered churches is call the police for help, since a lot of law enforcement departments do offer active shooter training or will review a church's security plan. Speaking of which, LMPD will host a forum on church safety 1 week from today. If you'd like to review those details and possibly sign up, you can see those details on our website, WDRB.com. Live in J-Town tonight, Chad Mills, WDRB News.
Greater resources
City and religious leaders got together earlier today to honor Marie Stallard and Vicki Lee Jones. Local churches and houses of worship rang their bells in solidarity today. The hope was the community would come together.
It's definitely been a rainy day, and there is more rain on the way. In fact, some heavier rain gathering across southern Kentucky. All of this now moving northbound. First stop in Louisville Metro, where rain is light to moderate at times. Downtown, it's raining. It's raining in Shawnee, showers in Shively, as well as St. Matthews, over the river in Jeff, getting a little bit of light rain there as well. Wide now, a shower now moving through northern Bullitt County that will cross over the border into southern Jefferson County. Then from southeast through English down through New Amsterdam, also Brandenburg, some light showers moving northbound. And here is the thunderstorm activity. There's quite a bit of heavy rainfall, some lightning strikes, but nothing severe out there like we had earlier around Upton, Magnolia. Very intense rainfall that stretches all the way to areas like Raywick as well as Lebanon. This batch of showers and storms moving to the north, and you can see a lot of rain, which is basically from Paducah all the way through Nashville. This will be moving through overnight, and we still have rain in the forecast through tomorrow as well at a 100% chance. So don't put that umbrella away just yet. Here's a look from our tower cam, where you see a lot of clouds overhead. Temperatures cooling down to around 63, southeast wind at 9 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, waking up to some showers and temperatures into the upper 50s, and more rain is on the way. I'll talk about which locations should expect another 2 to 3 inches of rain and update that risk for flooding.
All right, Rick, we will see you soon. A Bullitt Central High School teacher is charged with making terroristic threats against her own school. WDRB's Sarah Sidery explains how an angry text caused the school to go on lockdown.
Shepherdsville police say they have to take every threat seriously, and that prompted them to charge a suspended teacher with terroristic threatening. Police say they were called here because suspended teacher Dusty Witherspoon was making threats. The Spanish teacher had been banned from the property and was suspended for about 3 weeks. The school district wouldn't say why. Police say she went inside the school, was told to leave, used a different entrance to get in, left, and then sent this text to another teacher. Riddled with expletives, it goes on to say, if they want to get ugly, it's going to get real ugly. I'm at my limit. I've put up with enough. I'm done.
She was not specific towards any of the students or any of the faculty or staff, but obviously very agitated, very aggressive, very angry, and the threats definitely met the criteria of terroristic threatening.
The school went on soft lockdown until Witherspoon was arrested around 1 p.m. Witherspoon is being held in the Bullitt County Jail. She denied our request for a comment, and a bond amount has not been set yet. In Shepherdsville, Sarah Sidery, WDRB News.
2 brothers on their way to school this morning are in the hospital tonight after recovering from a hit and run. LMPD says the 11 and 13-year-old boys were in serious but stable condition at Norton Children's tonight. The 2 were hit on West Broadway near 31st around 6:30 while crossing the street to get to a TARC bus stop.
The cars, they travel very fast. They travel as if this is an expressway and this is a neighborhood. What I would like to see is, instead of the caution light that you see, I would like to see a traffic light installed.
Officers tonight are still searching for the vehicle involved in that incident.
1 current and 2 former LMPD officers are now under federal investigation for possibly abusing overtime money. Current officer Mark Final and now retired officers Todd Roadhouse and Brian Stanfield are under investigation and face possible indictments. Last year, a WDRB News investigation highlighted those officers for racking up huge amounts of overtime. They claimed to work as long as 21 hours a day without taking days off for months. Now the FBI is looking into possible criminal charges for the officers.
It's the issue of accountability. It's the issue of who's going to hold the police department accountable and who's going to hold the chief accountable in particular.
LMPD declined to comment due to the ongoing investigation.
1 year and still no answers after the shooting death of a Louisville pizza delivery driver.
The man's family says there's nothing else they can do at this point but pray. WDRB's Joel Skipper joins us now from LMPD headquarters as the search for the man's killer is ongoing. Joel.
David and Lindsay, his family still searching for answers as to who possibly killed the person that so many people refer to as Uncle Bill. Here at Annie's Pizza on Cane Run Road is where 52-year-old William Reichley was loved by his coworkers and patrons.
Oh, we all miss him a whole lot. We talk about him just about every day, about the funny little things he would say.
It was 1 year ago when Reichley left work and was helping a coworker with her car here at this Marathon gas station nearby.
So they got out and filled her tires up, and they was getting ready to leave when the guys come up on them.
Reichley was shot. His nephew in the passenger seat managed to help drive the car a couple streets down to Poplar View Drive, where the vehicle stopped in this yard and Reichley died.
I don't understand why somebody would do that to such a kind-spirited person.
There's not any words for it, you know. You see something, hey, I'm gonna call Bill. Oh, wait a minute, I can't. He's not there. So yeah, it gets kind of rough.
The lack of answers even having an impact on Reichley's niece.
We moved out of the city with our kids just because I can't imagine letting them play out in this area knowing that these people could be anywhere.
Employees who worked with Reichley every day say people still often call, wondering where he's been. Some still requesting him when they order food.
We go through with it, and you know, they send their sympathy and everything, and you know, we just wish we had our bill back.
A photo now hangs in the restaurant to greet patrons as soon as they walk in. It's a reminder of how much Uncle Bill is missed, and to never stop searching for who took his life.
He's here. We feel it. You know, his warmth spirit is all with us at all times. So we're struggling, but we'll get on.
And the LMPD tells me this is still an active case. However, they have made no arrests and have no suspects at this time. If you have any information that could lead officers to an arrest, you can call that anonymous tip line. That number is 574-LMPD. Reporting live downtown, Joel Skipper, WDRB News.
Joel, thank you. A new poll is out tonight showing just how tight the U.S. Senate race is in Indiana. Who has the edge in the latest numbers?
Plus, election security has become a key issue since the 2016 election. The shortage at Kentucky polling locations that could affect votes.
And thousands of people will be headed to Churchill Downs this weekend. How LMPD says it will handle the crowds. U of L loses its appeal and its banner.
I cannot say this strongly enough. We believe the NCAA is simply wrong.
Tonight, the price U of L pays, way beyond its national title.
Plus, where fans stand with the Cards, how the NCAA ruling is affecting their view of the Cards championship.
I think any place that takes down all their banners would find it to be very bad business.
We're done with the 80s for now. Our focus turns to the opportunity for multiple waves of rain if flood watch issued from tomorrow through Sunday, timing each one out and letting you how much rain to expect.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm David Scott.
And I'm Adrienne Flores. U of L makes history in a way it never hoped it would.
It's now become the first school in NCAA history to have to hand over its national title. But U of L says the NCAA denying its appeal of that, along with a list of other punishments, is simply wrong. It was the announcement so many expected, but hoped would never come.
Today, the NCAA Infractions Appeals Committee announced that it had upheld earlier imposed penalties on the University of Louisville.
Interim U of L President Greg Postal Tuesday announcing the price the school will pay for the scandal surrounding parties that included strippers, prostitutes, and recruits in basketball player dorm Minardi Hall. The biggest blow, U of L forfeits the 2013 national championship. But it also loses all wins from 2011 to 2015, including Final Four victories in 2012 and 13, some 120 wins altogether. The school also has to fork over the $600,000 it earned as a result of those wins. The punishment comes despite U of L's self-imposed postseason ban in 2016, along with scholarship reductions, adopting new policies to prevent such a scandal from being repeated, and full cooperation with the NCAA's investigation.
Under the NCAA's own rules, such cooperation should have been a factor in determining the severity of the punishment. Instead, it was ignored. I cannot say this strongly enough. We believe the NCAA is simply wrong to have made this decision.
With all of its appeals exhausted, the only option for U of L at this point is a lawsuit. That, however, looks unlikely.
Honestly, I think it'd be a difficult case, and as Dr. Postal mentioned, and we haven't formally discussed that, I would personally probably not be in favor at this point. I think the value of trying to beat the NCAA on guidelines is difficult. And I think there's not a lot of precedent for that happening.
But with all that the NCAA penalties are taking away from U of L, leaders say there's one thing that they cannot change.
We'll certainly remove the formal recognition of our accomplishments from our facilities, but they won't remove them from our hearts and our minds.
Meanwhile, U of L fans, of course, aren't happy about the 2013 championship banner coming down.
Exactly. But as WDRB's Sarah Sidery explains, not all signs of a championship are gone. Right, Sarah?
Here at the Yum Center, U of L will have to remove all signs of the 2013 national championship, but some local businesses say they refuse to part ways with their championship signs. 2013 national championship memorabilia is proudly on display at the Granville Inn in Old Louisville. Bar owner Martin Hazlett tells us despite the NCAA's decision, his signs won't be coming down.
They're my team. I support them whatever happens. I don't support all the things that happen with people, but I support our team because that as a whole is not the guilty party.
Championship banner is also up inside the Old Louisville Tavern. Bar workers tell us it'll be the owner's call whether or not it stays, but fans we spoke with there hope that it does. However, at the Cardinal Hall of Fame Cafe, the manager tells us their banner will eventually come down. Fans we spoke with today across the city say that while they have their memories, the decision still comes as a disappointment, and many fans also said that they especially feel for the players of the national championship team, but will still support their win. Reporting live at the KFC Yum Center, Sarah Sidery, WDRB News.
As you can imagine, Cards fans are reeling from today's announcement. Many are rallying around other U of L teams to show their support. Fans went to Cardinal Baseball Stadium to root the players on during today's home opener. And of course, news of U of L losing its banner hit some baseball fans hard, expressing everything from anger to disappointment, including a former Card who played for U of L from 70 to 73.
It is difficult, and it affects these young players. They didn't have anything to do with this, and it affects them. It affects Coach Padgett and his ability to recruit, and I think it's just a difficult time for the university. It affects the entire university, not just the athletic program.
Former head coach Rick Pitino plans to make a statement tomorrow about today's announcement. An attorney for Pitino says he will hold a press conference at 3 o'clock in New York City at the MetLife building. WDRB is heading to New York. We, of course, will be streaming that press conference and have live reports throughout the day. To read more about today's announcements, you can just head over to WDRB.com. Eric Crawford lays out what's next for the university and how it's rebuilding its brand.
What a day. A high temperature of 82 degrees, taking down 3 records. It was the warmest day on this date. It was also the warmest day ever. I mean, ever for the month of February, and also the earliest temperature in the 80s we've seen during February as well. So kind of a really, really nice day, but please do not dress for the warmth tomorrow. Keep the shorts and the t-shirts in the dresser because you're going to need the jacket as temperatures fall from the morning into the afternoon. The reason that's going to happen, that cold front off to our west, and along with it you can see showers and even a couple rumbles of thunder embedded within there just south of St. Louis. That mixture of rain and snow you see on the south side of it, north side rather, not going to get here. But looking outside, currently it's mostly cloudy and it's still quiet for the time being. Temperatures are warm. It's 73, dew point 58, south wind 20 miles an hour, has gusted at times up and over 40 miles an hour today. Stays breezy tonight and warm. 70 degrees at midnight, mostly cloudy skies, still dry at 4 o'clock, 67 degrees, but by the time that morning commute rolls around, it looks sloppy out there. A 70% chance for showers and even some heavier pockets of rain with a temperature of 64. Moving forward, this is the first of several rounds of rain. I'll let you know which locations are under a flood watch and also how much rain to expect.
All right, thanks, Rick. And of course, as the water levels continue to rise on the Ohio River, local hotel is taking precautions to keep guests safe by closing it.
WDRB's Joel Skipper joins us live now from Elizabeth, Indiana, with the changes already being made because of Mother Nature. Joel.
David and Adrian, while the hotel is closed, the casino and the pavilion shops, they remain open. The hotel closed around 10 o'clock this morning simply because the water just got too high. You can see on the WDRB Skycam, the parking lots and the garages flooded as well as the hotel driveway. The hotel was about at half capacity when it closed this morning. The casino said the hotel said they notified all of the incoming guests via email and social media of the change, and we're working with them to find other accommodations.
Showed up here, went to the front desk and said you have no room because we're closed.
We get daily updates from the Corps of Engineers. We closely monitor the river conditions, so we're always looking to see where the levels are going.
Management says the hotel will remain closed until at least Thursday, and it's then they will reassess the situation. Reporting live from Elizabeth, Indiana, Joel Skipper, WDRB News.
Joel, thank you. At Transylvania Beach, we found people wading through the water today. The Ohio River is about waist level in the middle of the street. You can see mailboxes, fire hydrants, and fences all underwater. People even put things on the roof to keep them dry, unsure just how high that water will rise.
It's amazing. Just in a few hours, you can literally just watch it creep up. So we knew we were here. We were packing in a hurry because, we got to get out of this road because I think in a few hours it'll be inaccessible.
Now, this community sits directly underneath the East End Bridge. Neighbors say they plan to be out of their homes for days. Poisoned dogs and stolen property. A Fairdale couple fed up with crime organized a meeting tonight on ways to fight back.
WDRB's Kyle Mitchell explains what they want to see happen. Kyle.
Adrian, David, LMPD leaders were at tonight's meeting. They say community involvement like this is crucial to fight crime across the city.
This shot vac.
A long list of items.
They took the air compressor.
Snatched from TC Water's Fairdale garage.
This red jack right here. They took that.
The family just one of many people in Fairdale concerned about crime.
It was weird because at the point they cut people's fences, and luckily social media through our Fairdale Watch actually got our stuff back.
A string of recent crime inspired Cindy Morris and her husband to organize a meeting Tuesday night to look for solutions.
All the crime and the drugs that are in Fairdale, and then my neighbor's dogs were poisoned, so we felt like that was enough when living things were being killed. We thought enough's enough.
The meeting talked about adding street lights, cameras, and ways the community can work with police.
They're the ones that are out there every day that are able to see everything in their area. And without their information, we cannot do our job as effectively as we can.
LMPD 3rd Division Commander Major Josh Hash says they can address concerns from some in the community who don't see enough officers patrolling the neighborhoods.
But they are out there in every neighborhood of the 3rd Division. And my suggestion would be, if they don't see police officers, to give us a call and say, hey, we'd like to see more. And we'll make sure or make it a point that they are seen.
The Waters family isn't taking any chances.
I'm hoping they get caught.
Putting up cameras and installing a security system, wanting justice for whoever broke into their garage.
As I've heard they got them on camera now with other people, so I'm hoping they get caught and serve their time. I really do.
If you know anything that could help investigators but don't want to give your name, you can call 574-LMPD. Reporting live from LMPD headquarters, Kyle Mitchell, WDRB News.
Thank you, Kyle. A classroom aide at Scottsburg Elementary School is now facing child porn charges. This is 23-year-old Tyler Shulin. Through a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Indiana State Police served a search warrant at a home in Scottsburg. After taking a computer and other items that police say have child porn on them, Shulin was taken into custody. Superintendent Mark Slayton says that he has been suspended indefinitely.
Indiana police arrest an underage girl accused of making threats against a high school in southern Indiana. She's allegedly made that threat against Austin High School on social media. A detective was actually at the school investigating when the girl reportedly posted more threats on social media. Police arrested her yesterday. She's charged with intimidation. And a local middle schooler brought a large knife to school and wanted to stab students. That's what Kentucky State Police say a 14-year-old boy told them. Happened this morning at Breckinridge County Middle School. Police arrested the teenager and charged him with attempted murder.
It's plaguing the state of Kentucky. Now one lawmaker is offering a solution to the pension problem, how his bill differs from what Governor Matt Bevin wants.
Plus, Bullitt County's 49th district has a new representative. Why the two candidates in tonight's special election will face off again.
And leaders with Metro Corrections want to make some changes. The proposal that deals with people on house arrest.